Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is going to be my second upload 2 days in a row, which is absolutely insane and unheard of from me. But I decided, let me just push out more content for you guys instead of like worrying so much about the editing. And you know, if anything comes from this YouTube thing, I can basically just redo the videos and with better editing and stuff like that. Today, what I wanted to cover is probably like the most controversial, most dangerous issue in this hobby, which is fake booster boxes and fake seals. Okay, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna examine Magic Ruler, Meta Raiders, and Legend of Blue Eyes, and all the variants that I could find in terms of fake booster boxes and so on. So we're gonna start here with my own copy of Magic Ruler, the first edition booster box. All right, this is going to be an authentic copy. If it's not obvious, you should be able to tell. And what I'm gonna put right beside it is the fake copy, and we're gonna examine it slowly and try to see basically the differences that we're gonna basically find on the boxes. So right away, as soon as you pick up these two boxes, you're able to see the color difference. All right, this skin tone looks a lot more natural. It looks a lot more like the anime, while this one's oversaturated, definitely looks edited. The hair, you could see on right here, this is a more magenta look, while this one is like basically pink. The printing overall just does not look that great. I mean, you could see a lot of pixelation. You can see a lot of the errors that happen when you basically scan the box and try to reprint it. They definitely did not have the original files on hand when they made this booster box. The barcode is the exact same, because I mean it was scanned, so yeah. And then we can look at the E logo right here, and we can see that it's very messy, while when we compare it to the authentic copy, you can read it. I'm holding at the exact same distance. So this is basically the original, and it's 100% authentic. This one is clearly not. I mean, even when you look at the text, you guys might not be able to see this, but it has a little bit of blurriness. Okay, it has a little bit of blurriness, while this one is super crispy. Another thing that I found was that these boxes don't close properly. All right, so what I mean by that is you could tell that it wasn't folded 100%. Like the way that this curves up, for example, like this box is not fitted exactly right like this one is. With this one, you can see it's like basically right to the edge, while this one, it looks like they put a little too much there. And whoa, also let's take a look at that color. Look at this. You can see a huge difference in color. I mean, this is green, this is basically blue. A huge difference, especially here. I mean, compare this to this. Look at the depth of the image. You can see so much more on here than you can on here. Very I mean, this is really obvious. Anybody who's kind of been in the hobby should be able to recognize this as a fake. It's not one of the harder ones to recognize. The inside, you'll see a lot of printing defects. Look right here, the ink just rubbing off basically. The Konami logo super pixelated. Like here's this, and then we put the official one there. You see that? I mean, the crispiness is on another level with this one. So that's that. that one is kind of easy to tell. You should be able to identify it right away. And yeah, it's not that difficult. Next, we move on to metal raiders. All right, now again, you should be able to see the huge color difference. Okay, again, with the hair, you see the pink here, while it's more red / magenta here. Compare the YuGiOh right here. Take a look at how crispy this is, and then you compare with this. It's whole different night and day, right? Next, you can take a look at the Konami logo. This one is a little bit better than the magic ruler, but it's still not 100%. I mean, you can see it right there. You see that? That's all scan issues. Well, if you have the original file, it goes right on top, super crispy. You can also see with the R, because it's scanned, it's not very nice, right? Compare with this, super crisp. Next, we go to the barcode and the E right here. Again, super crispy. You can see the whole thing. Read it perfectly. This one you can't even read. I mean, this one is even worse than this one in terms of just how bad it is. I mean, look at this. Yikes. The first edition is way off. Yeah, I mean, just it's just really bad. Now with this one, I was fortunate enough to be able to get some packs inside this box, and basically I'm going to show you guys what the packs look like. This is how they look like. The crimp right here is exactly like the Asian English packs. So if you look up Asian English booster packs, I'll probably throw up a picture right here. If you look at them, the crimp right here is the exact same. It's the horizontal. It doesn't have the vertical lines like you see, for example, on this one right here. See the vertical? This one is just straight across. It's exactly how the Asian English ones look. So this leads me to believe that this was produced in Asia, while the originals were produced in America. All right, now the thing about these packs is that when you open them, they actually don't feel like that off when it comes to the crimp. Like the crimp feels nice, but you'll see number one, you see an ultra rare cannon soldier. Right? I mean, this one is very, very obvious. Like when you compare it to something like this, for example, very obviously fake, right? Like compare the stars. See that? All right, compare the font. You see the difference? I mean, it's very, very obvious that this is fake. And then you take the back, and the back is like way off. The color is way off. If we look at the YuGiOh thing, we can see there's way more detail on this one than there is on this one. This one's a lot darker as well. But I mean, the back of YuGiOh cards change throughout time, so it's not as easy to tell with that. But I mean, the font should give it away right away. Like the font and the ultra rare. I mean, this one is basically like printed on, while on these ones it's stamped. Okay, and then there's basically like no hollow foil on this thing. And I mean, yeah, I mean, just look at these cards. Shout out to Ruxin right here. Gonna send this to Ruxin. And yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, this is, I would say the centering, but I have seen some YuGiOh cards that are cut like this, some official ones. So I don't want to bash it too hard, but I mean, you should be able to tell right away that these are fake cards if you have any type of experience with these, right? The only person who's gonna like get played by, this is not censored right here, so This already tells you this is from Asian, like this is Asian English. But the only person who's gonna get duped by these is basically like a mom who's trying to buy kids for her, who's trying to buy cars for her kids. Yeah, these are really, really obvious. So I don't want to spend too much time on them. It's already been 10 minutes. Jeez. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna get to basically the most authentic looking fake, if that makes sense. We're gonna shift them here, and we're gonna take a look at these two boxes right here. All right. Looking at these two boxes, they look very similar. The colors look very, very similar. It's very hard to tell. I mean, I can't even tell you that there is a difference in colors, but I can't really describe it in words, if that makes sense. Like, this one's just a little bit more vibrant, okay? It's just a tiny bit more, okay? If we compare the Konami logo, so for example right here, okay? Right away you should be able to tell which one's the fake one, right? The fake one is the bottom one. Why? Because when you look at the Konami logo, this is a big giveaway. So like if you're looking for a fake box on eBay, right, and the guy doesn't have a clear picture of the back, right, you should be able to tell right from the front, because the O and the N touch on all the fake Wavy boxes, or so-called Wavy boxes. All right, you see that? They touch together right here. And the authentic one, they don't touch at all, right? Like, I'm zooming in as hard as possible. They don't touch at all. With this one, the R looks pretty much fine. Looks the same here. It's a tiny bit crispier here, but like you can't use this as the giveaway. You understand? Like, this printing is actually so good, so well done, that it's really hard to kind of use it as the basis. Same here, to be honest. I mean, just looking at this, I can barely tell which one's the fake one, right? Like, I have to really look. This is the real one, this is the fake one, but I have to really, really look hard. There's a little bit of blurriness when you take a look at that. You see that here? There's a little bit of blurriness, right? And then again, this is the big one. This was announced like a long time ago, the E, right? Look at that difference. This is super readable right from here. This is not readable even when you zoom in. Barcode on the back, pretty much the same. Again, see, like, it's a little bit more vibrant, but very hard to tell. Like, even in person, to be honest with you, this one looks definitely more blue. This one is more faded out, more washed out. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how you can tell them apart. Here's the colors on the front. Again, more blue, more washed out here. But unless you have them side by side, you really can't tell. This is a really, really good replication. The biggest giveaways that I will tell you guys is this right here, the O and the N, as well as the E on the back. Now, if you decide to buy this and you open it, on the inside, there's a big giveaway right here. Same issues as before. Same issues as before. Okay? Now, that's basically it on the Wavy boxes. Okay? Next, we have something I didn't even know existed, which is a fake glossy box. All right, now this one is way off. The replication is not as good. This is an authentic box right here. You should be able to tell right away now, just by the O and the N. If you need to zoom in right away, you should be able to know this is a real box, right? Now, this one, the colors are way off. You should be able to see it right away. This is an authentic glossy box, right? The colors, you should be able to see it right away. We go to the bottom. This one is not as easy to see. This one should be I mean, it's just the blurriness here. This one is very clear. The blurriness, I mean, this is way more sharp and punchy compared to this one, if that's even a word. The colors are more punchy, if that makes sense. And then here we have another one. Then we take a look at this. We go back to the E. The barcode. This one, I actually assume it has the same packs as the Metarators we just opened. So the fake Metarators packs are what I believe come out of these. Now I can't confirm that because I don't really have an example, but it seems like this is sharing the same quality. I mean, it's still a little bit better than the Metarators. This Metarators one is like really bad. This one's like very obvious. You can tell this has, I mean, so yeah, as soon as you open this one you can tell, but I guess this one you could fool a little bit more people, but all of them are really very obvious, other than the one that I just showed you guys, which is the Wavy fake box. Just right here. Now, how can we tell if a box is authentic or not? All right. There's two ways that I found, okay? Other than feeling the wrap itself, okay? So for me, I've been scammed before with a fake box, a resealed box with unlimited packs inside, okay? The wrapping was superb, okay? But now I know how to be able to tell, okay? The first thing you want to look for is loose wrapping, okay? The wrapping has to be loose, okay? Number two, that this thing right here, when you touch it like this, you should be able to hear it. It's not as crunchy, okay? The cellophane that they used on the resealed boxes that came out of Florida, they're all super crunchy, okay? It's not crunchy like very, very clear, but you should be able to hear a difference, okay? It's not as stiff, okay? Now, another way to tell is if you look closely, right here you should see breathing holes. Breathing holes are all over these booster boxes, okay? And it's about 1.5 to 2 centimeters apart. Every single booster box has these, okay? This is a huge way to tell if the box is authentic or not. Okay, they go all the way down. Actually, they don't go all the way down, they go right to the middle. So I'm not even sure how you can even replicate this without a factory, but these are signs that you can look for when you want to figure out if something is authentic or not. Now, I know this is authentic because I pulled this out of the case myself. Someone in Toronto had a case of these, and I picked up like 3 or 4 boxes from him a while ago, and I know this is an authentic box for sure. But that's basically the only way to really tell, other than like feeling it in your hand, you know, knowing the texture, knowing how the flaps feel. This is very hard to replicate as well. You see here, this is usually a sign that this is a authentic box. Very hard to replicate this because this is a more of a time type of damage, okay? With the newer boxes, new resealings, you'll see that it doesn't really have these. It just wraps over this very smoothly. It can still have the seams. All of this could look very authentic, but it is still a fake box. You need to look for the wrinkles on the edges. You need to look for the bubbles, okay, the breathing holes, and you need to flip this, and it has to kind of have a little bit of looseness, and the wrapping cannot be super crunchy, okay? So that's how you can tell a resealed box from not. Now, last but not least, let's get to the cards. Now, remember when I was showing you guys the guy, the Fierce Knight, all right? This is actually a fake card. Okay, now the experts should have been able to know by now, but for the people who didn't know, this is actually a fake card. And this comes out of the really good replication booster box, okay? The one with the O and the N touching. All right, this comes out of here, and the cards inside look like this. Okay, these are fake cards, and you can tell that these are a huge step up from this. Right? I mean, should be very obvious that these are completely different factories. The back here is very orangey, and I'm gonna get into that, but number one, these have a very glossy texture, very flimsy. Okay, very flimsy. I'm not ripping this one because I'm gonna send it to Ruxin, but I'll rip this one. Very, very flimsy. If you rip them, I'm not sure what I was supposed to find with that ripping, but I wanted to rip it just in case, make sure. Yeah, but this is very, very glossy. This is very easy to tell. This one actually is a lot more brittle. You can hear it. Compare it to this. Compared to a real Yu-Gi-Oh card. There's some ASMR for you guys. Now, one thing you should look out for is the corners. They could not replicate that corner trim exactly right. You'll see it's a little bit more round, okay, compared to the authentic card. The back, you see how it's like more rounded on here? Because this is done in a completely different factory. Now the back, you should be able to see that there's a huge difference in clarity. All right, now you might be saying, all right, this is a new card, could you show us an old card? Sure, let me take out an old card right now. All right, Harpy Lady Sisters, Meta Raiders, take a look. This one's a lot closer than the Shadow of Infinity one, obviously, because it's a lot lighter. But still, though, you could still see that orange hue that's on the fake one. The font is very close, to be honest. I mean, let's compare the T real quick. It's pretty much the same. The ERs. Let me rip this real quick. Very close, to be honest. Like, it's scary close. If we compare the Aqua and the Winged Beast, let me rip this one so that we can get closer. If we compare the A's, very, very similar. So this seems to be like a scan. Well, this one is made like completely from scratch. Basically, they created their own layout. They put the thing on top and everything like that. This seems to be a completely different layout, while this one is more of a scan and paste onto the cardboard. You can kind of already tell because you can kind of see it, right? Like the only difference here is basically the attack font. The zeros look a little bit different. You can see that here that the gap between the circle is wider than it is on here. This one's also bold while this one is not. So like honestly, I don't understand if this is a copy or a carbon copy where, you know, they scan this card and they put it, like basically they printed it onto the thing. Why is it that this is different? You know what, this makes me believe that it is not like that. But I don't know how they replicated the stars so perfectly. I mean, the stars look the exact same. I'm not sure. I really don't know how they did this one, because the first edition, compare that, there's a little bit of difference, right? You can see this is a little bit more bold. It fits in there better, while this one's it's touching the edges a little bit. The code here, this around the same. It's basically just the attack and defense. Way more bold here. Anyway, that's basically a fake card. I'm just gonna show you guys the holo now, so that we can kind of compare. All right, here we have a glossy Gaia, a wavy Gaia, and a fake Gaia. All right, take them out real quick. This one has the same, you hear that? Compare that to wavy Gaia, right? Whoa, what the heck? This is minty. Anyway, compare that to from that to this. Really, really grainy surface, while this one is more smooth. And then you have the fonts, the stamps here. They look to be around the same. The gold here is definitely a little bit more neutral, while this one is kind of a little bit more like 24 karat gold, if that makes sense, while this one has, you know, 22, 21 carats. It's not as bright. This one's not as dull as this one. This one's not as bright as this one. And then you have the same thing here with the attack and the defense, right? Huge difference. First edition, it looks to be bigger on the fake card. Yeah, in terms of like the waviness, you can see here that this is a wavy Gaia. When you look at this one has nothing. It's very, very flat. And then last but not least, let's compare it with the glossy Gaia. This one I have to be very careful with because this is a pack fresh copy. Same thing pretty much. Basically, if you want to tell the difference, compare the attack and defense. I think that's the best and biggest giveaway. Like, other than the rounded corners, again, you can take a look at the rounded corners right here. See, the YuGiOhs are a lot more sharp, the authentic ones, while this one has a little bit more of a curve. The backs, more orangey here. I mean, the back is like a huge giveaway. You can see here that these kind of fade into white, if that makes sense, while this one doesn't have that, right? Even on the wavy, you still see you still see those blotches of white right here, right here, right here, right? The fake one doesn't really have that. It's just orange all around. That's basically it on telling the cards. Now, the last thing that I want to mention here is, which is very, very funny to me. Let's say you decide to open this box, all right? Let's just say you decide to, you buy a box online and you want to be a hype beast and do a box break, all right? Now, let's just say you open this box and you pull some holos, okay? Now this one, the box ratios are not like the Meta Raiders and the fake ones over there, where it's like every single pack has a holo. This one actually has proper ratios. The thing that they messed up on is the fact that every single box has the exact same damn cards inside. And Trihorn, okay? These are the cards that you'll see inside of these fake boxes. There are no exceptions, except not Petite Moth right here. Let's get rid of that. But these are basically the cards that you will find inside of these fake booster boxes. I know this because there's 2 of them. Okay, you'll always pull Trihorn, okay? If you want even more proof, go take a look at, actually I'm just gonna post Simply Unlucky's unboxing right here real quick. You'll see that he opened this, and that. All right, all around every single box has this exact same cards, okay? So if you see this formula right here, okay, in terms of the box, in terms of the cards that you pulled, all right, most likely yours is fake. So yeah, that's basically it on that. Here's a kind of a small last overview on these cards. Again, the biggest telltale sign, like when you look at this, is the curved corners. The Eye of Anubis, let me take a look at that real quick before we end. All right, gonna compare it. So the Eye of Anubis looks pretty damn legit. This one has YuGiOh though. Right there, you should be able to see the eye. While this one, damn, this Eye of Anubis looks legit. I guess the only difference here is that if you take a look at this one, the square box is super sharp, while the square box on this one is kind of messy. Let's compare it with another card. Let me grab another one. This is Guardian Sphinx. Yeah, same thing. You see that? The emboss is a lot better on the authentic card than it is on the fake one. However, on the inside, it's really hard to tell the difference. I mean, the Eye of Anubis looks really good, man. Like, damn. But yeah. So there you have it. Basically, I hope you guys were able to learn how to tell the differences between these fake products versus the real ones. The seal is the most important thing, because if you understand that the seal is real, then pretty much all the contents are real. If that's not the case and you have to open the box and prove it, hopefully I've given you enough resources to be able to kind of distinguish between fake boxes versus not fake boxes. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace. Let me rip one of these real quick. Oh, there you go. There you go. there's that sticker right here. This was a sticker laid out on top of this card. Now, I don't know if I have any cards that are holographic that I can rip, to be honest with you guys, from the new sets. But you can tell that this has that Asian English kind of, you know how like Schloss made a video on rebacking cards? By the way, you guys can check him out. He does amazing videos. It's SCHLOAST, right? So his videos are so good. Well, there's a dead giveaway right there. That should tell you that there's something wrong here. I don't believe LOB cards rip like this. And I don't think I'm willing to rip one, to be honest, because I don't really have any that are super damaged. All right, never mind. I found a card that I am willing to rip for the sake of science. This is an SDK Unlimited card. Has magic cards, so this was definitely in the 2002 print. And this is a glossy card, and would you look at that, this is a sticker as well. Wow, I didn't even know that. Okay, right away I can tell you that this is a lot flimsier than this one. This is a lot more thick. Very interesting. Very interesting. I wonder if Wavy cards rip in the same way, because the thing about some cards is that some were placed on a layer of foiling, and then some were basically foiled and printed right on top. So that's another topic for another day, but it's very interesting that this one is like that as well. Let me take a look real quick. All right, one more thing. I wanted to try this one. This is Hidden Arsenal. This is a little bit later. I want to see if this one rips the same way. Oh wow, it does. Okay, this one peeled way easier. This one seems to be the same material as that. So that's basically Konami cheapening out as time went on. Because this one feels way different. Okay, let's see how far they've cheapened out on us. This is ETCO. I don't know if this is worth anything. They also have this. What the heck? The secret rare. Wow. Okay, well, we've clearly gone like way past the LOB thing. Now we're just talking about like card stock, but